Welcome to the Wellness Revolution podcast, where we explore the most profound and actionable insights for a healthier, happier, and more meaningful life. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into an incredible stack of sources from two visionary authors, Immaculata de Vivo, who's a Harvard scientist, and Daniel Lumera, a meditation expert. Together, they've penned The Biology of Kindness, 6 daily choices for health, well-being, and longevity. Our mission today is to truly unpack this. We're here to discover how your daily choices everything from what you eat and how you move to how you think and connect with others, don't just influence your health. They literally reshape your biology, right down to the very blueprint of your cells. And in doing so, they fundamentally alter your future. This isn't just about general well-being, It's about the deep, measurable impact on your DNA and your brain.
It really is. And what's truly fascinating here is how this work masterfully bridges cutting-edge scientific discovery with ancient wisdom traditions. It offers a profoundly compelling message. Your health and longevity are far more within your conscious control than you might have ever imagined. This deep dive is it's an invitation, really, a powerful call to action for you to play an incredibly active and direct role in protecting and enhancing your own well-being.
That's huge.
It is. And the authors make a striking point, too, emphasizing that just 5 years ago, a book like this literally couldn't have been written.
Really? Why that?
Because the scientific evidence simply wasn't robust enough. It wasn't there yet. But now we have this impressive and growing body of proof that health is very often a matter of modifiable choices. Choices that directly impact your DNA, your brain structure, and ultimately, your destiny.
That's a huge claim, isn't it? The idea that our health destiny isn't just decided at birth, that it's not simply etched into our genes. We've all grown up hearing that genetics largely determine our fate, right? That our health is mostly decided before we even take our first breath. But this deep dive profoundly challenges that notion. It suggests that we as individuals have far more agency, far more power than previously thought. But, for many listeners, that might feel almost overwhelming. If everything is in our control, does that imply a personal failing if we're not perfectly healthy? How do the authors balance this empowering message with the reality that life also presents undeniable external challenges and that genetics still play some role?
That's an excellent point, and it's precisely where the authors offer a crucial nuance. Indeed, while genetics certainly play a role, and they use that very powerful analogy, genes load the gun, the environment pulls the trigger.
Right, I've heard that one.
Well, studies from places like Columbia, Stanford, and especially Harvard, where Immaculata de Vivo did her foundational research, provide growing and increasingly convincing evidence. Evidence that environmental factors, our behaviors, our chosen lifestyles are profoundly, measurably significant for our health.
Okay.
We are talking about nothing less than a true paradigm shift in how we understand health and disease. Your DNA isn't immutable, not some fixed destiny handed down.
Dynamic.
Exactly. It responds to external stimuli, to stress, to joy, to food, to movement. It utterly evolves, adapts, and is modified based on the inputs you provide to your body and mind. Immaculata de Vivo, as a leading scientist in this field, felt this urgent, almost moral need to spread this knowledge beyond just the scientific community.
I can imagine.
She stresses that the impact of our lifestyles on our DNA and overall well-being isn't just theoretical, it's now scientifically measurable. This concept of the biological value of diversity and adaptability, the recognition that human survival and thriving depend on our ability to respond and change, that's a foundational principle of their entire work.
So we're not just passive recipients.
Not at all. It means you are, in many ways, an active editor of your own biological story.
So if our choices affect our DNA, the very core of who we are, how do scientists actually measure that? How do they observe these incredible changes happening at such a microscopic, fundamental level? This is where it gets really intriguing. The authors consistently talk about these fascinating structures called telomeres. What exactly are telomeres, and why are they so central to understanding our longevity and overall health?
Okay, telomeres. Think of them like the tiny protective caps at the very ends of our chromosomes.
Like on shoelaces.
Exactly like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Without those tips, the laces would fray, unravel, become useless. Similarly, telomeres safeguard our precious genetic material, which is organized into chromosomes within every single one of our cells. Every time a cell replicates, and this is happening constantly throughout your body to replace old cells, these telomeres shorten slightly.
Okay, so that's natural.
It is. It's a natural, unavoidable process. But their length acts as a kind of biological clock. It literally dictates a cell's lifespan, and by extension, the lifespan of the organism, like us.
Wow.
Longer telomeres are strongly associated with increased longevity and robust health. Shorter ones, well, they're linked to a shorter life expectancy. They really are the sentinels of longevity standing guard over our genetic integrity.
Okay, so the length matters a lot.
It does. And here's the revolutionary part. While about 60% of their initial length is hereditary determined at birth, they are highly, powerfully modifiable by our lifestyle choices throughout our lives.
Modifiable, so we can influence them.
Profoundly. This is precisely why they're increasingly used as biomarkers, measurable indicators for overall health, and our susceptibility to a wide range of chronic diseases. Things like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular issues, various cancers, even osteoarthritis.
So they give us a snapshot of our cellular age.
Exactly. A glimpse into our cellular age, which can be very different from our chronological age. How old your cells act versus how many birthdays you've had.
So telomeres shortening over time is the unavoidable part of the equation, a natural biological countdown. That sounds a bit daunting if we're all on this inevitable path. But you mentioned something to actually accelerate this shortening, leading to what the authors call premature aging. What are we, perhaps even unknowingly, doing to ourselves that's essentially speeding up this biological clock?
This raises a profoundly important question for our modern lives, doesn't it? What specifically speeds up this natural process of telomere attrition? Well, beyond the normal wear and tear that comes with just getting older chronologically, factors like consistent bad habits, prolonged exposure to harmful substances, and especially chronic psychological stress significantly accelerate telomere shortening.
Stress that.
Definitely. And take smoking, for example. Extensive research compiled from, I think it was 84 different studies, confirms that cigarette smoking leads to significantly shorter telomeres and greater damage to their structure. It effectively acts as a cellular aging accelerator. It makes your cells biologically older much faster.
So your biological age can be way older than your actual age.
Precisely. This means a person's overall health and their level of cellular aging are now scientifically measurable through something as concrete as telomere length. This premature aging means your body, in terms of its cell and tissue health, can actually be years, even decades, older than your chronological age. The data clearly and unequivocally links destructive behaviors like smoking to the earlier onset of a wide range of age-related diseases.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder, really, of the direct measurable consequences of our choices on our most fundamental biological machinery.
That does sound like quite a bit of bad news, painting a picture of these precious telomeres constantly under attack. But you said telomeres also bring good news. So what can we do practically and profoundly to slow down this attrition and protect our genetic blueprint? How do we take control of that trigger finger in the analogy?
Absolutely. And this is where the empowerment really lies. The modifiability of telomeres truly works both ways. While we can't lengthen them beyond their original birth length or completely recover lost telomeric material.
Okay, so we can't reverse it completely.
No, not completely reverse the shortening that's happened, but we can significantly, measurably slow down further shortening. This isn't just about general healthy living. It's about making specific choices that act as protective shields for your DNA.
Like what? What are these validated methods?
Okay, so scientifically validated methods include consistent physical activity, literally moving your body, as it was designed to do. A healthy eating pattern, especially one inspired by the traditional Mediterranean diet, plays a crucial role.
Right, the Mediterranean diet comes up a lot.
It does, for good reason. Then, complete abstinence from cigarette smoking that's non-negotiable for telomere health, and crucially, effective stress reduction behaviors.
How do those choices work?
Yeah.
Chemically.
Yeah, basically these positive choices work by lowering the levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, in your bloodstream. High cortisol directly contributes to cellular damage and accelerated telomere shortening. So, by managing stress, you are directly protecting your genetics and preserving your health. Strategies like regular meditation, spending time immersed in nature, actively listening to music, and cultivating a consistently positive attitude are all powerful, scientifically backed tools you can use.
So it's not just genes.
Not by a long shot. Current scientific evidence clearly tells us that while aging is unavoidable, it is only partially determined by genetics. It is profoundly and dynamically influenced by a complex mix of hereditary predisposition, our environment, and most importantly, our lifestyle choices. This empowers you immensely to take active steps right now to slow down this process and ensure your coming years are more peaceful, more fulfilling, and far healthier.
One of the biggest culprits you mentioned for telomere damage, and something we all feel intensely in our daily lives, is stress. We all feel it, we talk about it. But what exactly is stress doing to us on a biological level? And why has it become such a pervasive, almost inescapable problem in our modern lives?
Right. Let's look at this through an evolutionary lens, because that's where the problem really highlights itself. Our body's fight or flight response was an incredibly elegant and essential design for acute, immediate dangers.
Like the classic saber-toothed tiger example.
Exactly. Imagine encountering one 100,000 years ago. This mechanism would instantly redirect energy, heighten your senses, accelerate your heart rate, suppress non-essential functions like digestion or reproduction, all with the sole immediate goal of survival. It's powerful, efficient, and importantly, fleeting. It turns on, does its job, then turns off.
But that's not how it works now.
Not usually, no. In our modern world, this acute stress has morphed into chronic stress. It's a continuous, low-level wear and tear that our biology simply isn't designed for. As Robert Sapolsky, the Stanford neuroscientist, provocatively suggests, our very high intelligence coupled with too much free time we often spend in competition, conflict, creating complex psychosocial pressures, worrying about bills, social media, deadlines.
Yeah, all that mental stuff.
Right. That actually makes us sick. This constant low-level threat extends those fight-or-flight mechanisms over prolonged periods. It's like keeping your car engine redlining in neutral, burning out parts that were never meant for constant strain.
That's a great analogy.
This constant activation leads to significant and insidious health consequences because the body never gets a chance to return to a state of calm and repair. It's just stuck on.
So if that's the setup, what are those actual biological impacts of this chronic, relentless stress? What's happening inside us when we're constantly on edge?
Well, when you're perpetually stressed, your body sustains physiological responses that were meant to be temporary. We see sustained hypertension, rapid heart rate, tachycardia, muscle contraction, while crucial functions like digestion, immunity, and reproduction are suppressed or severely weakened.
So it affects everything.
Pretty much. Prolonged exposure to high levels of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline is directly linked to a host of serious, measurable health issues. Cardiovascular problems like heart attacks and strokes, ulcers, gastrointestinal dysfunction, psychological illnesses like depression and anxiety. A 2013 Australian study even linked work or family stress to type 2 diabetes, cancer, and asthma, even when other physical risk factors were ruled out.
Wow, that's direct.
Very direct. Think about those studies on Romanian orphans who suffered severe early trauma and chronic stress.
Right, due to neglect.
Exactly. Or war veterans grappling with PTSD. These studies show a clear and direct link between these experiences and accelerated telomere shortening. It's primarily due to the oxidative stress and inflammation that chronic stress generates throughout the body. It's a vicious cycle.
But there's hope. Resilience.
Yes. The authors also highlight the critical concept of resilience, the innate or cultivated ability to maintain equilibrium and bounce back during trauma. This capacity can significantly mitigate these detrimental effects. It suggests our individual response to stress is a complex mix of genetics, life experiences, and crucially, our personal beliefs and coping strategies.
So we can influence how we respond.
Absolutely. While we can't always avoid stressors, we can profoundly influence how our bodies respond to them.
So stress is clearly a major factor in aging and disease. But what about our outlook, our mindset? Can simply being optimistic, maintaining a positive attitude, actually be a biological advantage that actively protects us? Does it go beyond just feeling good?
This is a truly profound area of research. Can our mindset genuinely influence our physical health and longevity? The scientific evidence is now remarkably strong. Research identifies a clear and powerful correlation between optimism, and we're defining it here not just as wishful thinking, but as the expectation of positive events and confidence in controlling outcomes and living a longer, healthier life.
So it's more than just feeling happy.
Much more. Optimism doesn't just make you feel better. It actively promotes healthy behaviors, demonstrably slows down biological aging processes at a cellular level, and fundamentally helps you regulate your emotions and respond to stressful experiences much more effectively.
Are there examples?
Sure. Think of Winston Churchill's famous quote about seeing... Or Queen Elizabeth's response when Buckingham Palace was bombed, "I am glad we have been bombed. Now we can look the East End in the eye." It's an incredible reframing.
That's amazing resilience.
It is. And studies show optimistic individuals consistently have a lower incidence of cardiovascular, pulmonary, metabolic, and immunologic diseases. A 2006 study even found optimists were less likely to develop symptoms from a common cold virus after being exposed, suggests a stronger immune response.
Wow, and longer life.
Yes, a groundbreaking 2019 Harvard study led by Louina Lee found that optimists tend to live 11–15% longer than pessimists, and they have a significantly higher chance of achieving exceptional longevity, living over 85.
Why is that?
Well, they're better at reframing unfavorable situations. They show greater motivation, more perseverance. Remember Martin Seligman's swimming study? Optimists improved after perceived failure. Pessimists slowed down.
Right, and pessimism.
Extreme pessimism leads to higher cortisol, more inflammation, and can even contribute to depression, which itself is a risk factor for heart disease. So yes, your mindset is potent medicine.
That's incredible to consider. But if someone feels like they're naturally a pessimist, are they just stuck with potentially shorter telomeres and a higher risk of disease? Can optimism actually be learned and cultivated, or is it just an innate fixed trait?
Absolutely not stuck. This is the truly empowering part. Science clearly states that optimism is an attitude that can be learned, cultivated, and strengthened.
It's a skill.
Exactly. It's a skill, not just a birthright. Cognitive behavioral therapies, for example, offer promising results by strengthening coping strategies and helping to reframe negative thought patterns. But even simple daily practices can make a profound difference.
Like what?
Things like actively expressing gratitude, consciously practicing acts of kindness, engaging in meditation, visualization exercises. Some research suggests just 5 minutes a day visualizing your best possible self and outcomes can measurably increase optimism in just 2 weeks.
Just 5 minutes.
Seems so. It's about finding that balance, you know? A strong inclination toward optimism, but maybe with a small, life-saving dose of healthy pessimism for caution when needed. This cultivated optimism also positively affects physical pain perception, makes you more resilient, and enhances the placebo effect.
The placebo effect, too.
Yeah, your belief in healing can trigger actual physiological improvement more strongly if you're optimistic. Optimists tend to be more problem-focused in tough situations, not just dwelling on the problem, and they maintain higher satisfaction even facing challenges like job loss.
So you can definitely learn it.
Absolutely. Optimism is a powerful ally, and it's a skill you can proactively develop.
Let's shift gears now to kindness. We often think of it as a nice social grace, something polite, maybe a moral good. But this deep dive presents it as something far more profound, a biological imperative, even an evolutionary strategy. How so? What does that mean for us?
This raises an incredibly important question, doesn't it? Kindness, as presented here, goes far beyond common good manners. Its Latin root, gentilis, from gens, actually refers to belonging to an extended family group or clan with mutual duties of defense and assistance.
Oh, interesting. So it's about belonging.
Yes, it implies a nobility of mind, expressing empathy, courtesy, a spirit of service, and inclusive social value, fostering belonging and collective well-being. The authors argue that being kind to ourselves and others isn't just a biological matter tied to our individual health and longevity, but it's also absolutely crucial for the very survival and flourishing of the human race.
Wow. How do they suggest practicing it?
They suggest a practical exercise, practicing 3 conscious acts of kindness daily, 1 toward a human, 1 toward an animal, and 1 toward a plant. And think of Benjamin Franklin's pay it forward idea from 1784.
Right, the loan that had to be paid to someone else in need.
Exactly. He couldn't have imagined it would create this whole international movement showing how a single act can create an endless ripple effect of good. It transforms individual compassion into this powerful, self-perpetuating force.
So what does this all mean for our actual health? How does kindness translate into tangible, measurable, biological benefits beyond just feeling warm and fuzzy?
Well, the scientific world has increasingly recognized kindness's profound and measurable role in improving health. And this knowledge is now being actively applied in clinical settings. Advanced cancer centers, for instance, are incorporating psychological support protocols focused specifically on cultivating kindness and compassion.
Why in cancer centers?
To help diffuse the intense negative emotions tied to diagnoses and therapies. This, in turn, might potentially improve a patient's physiological response to treatments. A 2011 Harvard study on cardiovascular patients found an 8-week positive psychology intervention, including kindness exercises, led to measurable improvement in their clinical conditions.
Even with serious heart conditions.
Yes. And other studies show practicing acts of kindness can significantly reduce social phobia and anxiety levels faster than just exposure therapy alone. This suggests a powerful impact on our emotional balance mechanisms. Kindness becomes a therapeutic tool.
Like the starfish story.
Exactly, the child and the starfish anecdote. It reminds us that even individual acts, seemingly small, can inspire collective change and make a difference, at least for this one. It's a symbol of that ripple effect.
Beyond kindness, the authors highlight forgiveness and gratitude as equally transformative forces. What's revolutionary about their approach to forgiveness? It seems to move beyond just clearing guilt or resolving an offense.
It really does. Traditionally, forgiveness is tied to guilt or offense, often seen within that victim-tormentor duality. But this deep dive presents a revolutionary new paradigm. It's presented as an act of profound self-healing and personal liberation, an intimate, powerful act for oneself, regardless of whether the offender has repented or apologized or even knows they need forgiveness.
So it's for you, not necessarily for them.
Primarily, yes. The International School of Forgiveness, founded in 2013, uses these methods in schools, prisons, hospitals, showing its universal application. Forgiveness, in this context, helps consciously dissolve the walls we build around our hearts. Walls of anger, resentment, guilt, shame, rigid judgments.
Letting go of that baggage.
Precisely. By letting go, you free yourself from the heavy weight of the past and the crippling anxiety of the future. It's reframed not as condoning an action, but as an act of profound love toward yourself and, ultimately, toward those who may have hurt you, fostering compassion and acceptance.
How does that work in practice?
The book details 7 life-changing statements of forgiveness. The first, I forgive me, I forgive you, emphasizes mutual responsibility, moving beyond simple right-wrong. The second, I free me, I free you, uses that Zen story of the 2 monks.
The one carrying the anger about the river crossing.
That's the one. It shows how we imprison ourselves with resentment. And the third, I love me, I love you, focuses on recognizing our common human bond. Research consistently shows forgiveness is linked to lower depression, anxiety, hostility, addiction, and higher positive emotions, self-esteem, life satisfaction.
Even for things like PTSD.
Yes. Veterans with PTSD who practice self-forgiveness found it significantly helped their healing. It's profoundly therapeutic.
And gratitude. Is it just a fleeting feeling, or does it have tangible benefits beyond feeling good?
Cultivating gratitude, even the simplest thank you, has tremendous scientifically backed benefits. It costs nothing, but the impact is profound.
Like what?
Well, firstly, it opens doors to more relationships and strengthens existing ones. A 2014 study showed expressing gratitude to someone new makes them more likely to pursue that connection.
So it helps socially.
Definitely. Secondly, it measurably improves physical health. Grateful people report less pain, feel healthier overall. They're also more likely to take care of their health, exercise more, get regular checkups contributing to longevity.
And mentally.
Significantly improves psychological health. It actively reduces toxic emotions like envy, resentment, frustration, regret. Robert Emmons' research confirms gratitude practices measurably increase happiness and reduce depression symptoms.
Zen peasant parable fits here too, right?
Perfectly. It demonstrates that mindset of gratitude and acceptance towards all events, good or bad, highlighting how perception shapes our experience. It empowers you to find contentment anywhere.
The ultimate quest for many of us, it seems, is happiness. But this deep dive suggests Western society often chases the wrong kind of happiness, equating it with pleasure, achievements, possessions. What's the crucial distinction the authors draw, and what does true happiness mean here?
This raises an absolutely vital question for how we live. The authors describe 4 primary paths: doing, achievements, having possessions, appearing, status, image, and finally, being. Authentic happiness, they powerfully argue, belongs exclusively to the sphere of being.
Not the others.
Not primarily. Western happiness often equates to hedonism, maximizing pleasure from external achievements, sensory experiences, material things. But this relentless pursuit often leads to chronic dissatisfaction. Why? Because it's based on transient external factors that are inherently unstable.
Okay, so what's true happiness then?
True happiness, eudaimonic happiness as the Greeks called it, isn't about what you acquire or achieve. It's about realizing your authentic potential, embodying a good spirit or your true nature, as Aristotle suggested. It's about who you are becoming and the profound contentment that comes from that inner alignment.
Like the story of the dying man.
Exactly. The man who, despite losing everything to terminal cancer, found profound happiness in the gratitude of being in this moment, just feeling alive. That illustrates it perfectly. Or Paramahansa Yogananda's words about carrying the treasure of happiness within, yet seeking it externally.
Right. And the marshmallow experiment.
Yes. That showed children who could delay gratification for a bigger reward later had better outcomes in school, career, satisfaction. It demonstrates the power of self-control and inner resolve over immediate superficial pleasure. Suggests true happiness stems from deeper awareness, not just fleeting gratification.
Like Gandhi's disciple.
Anthony Ellen Jamitam, yes. He exemplified that kindness of the heart and mental youth, nourished by meditation and the joy of awareness, always seeing things anew.
So this isn't just an individual state. What does this understanding of happiness mean for our collective well-being? Is happiness truly contagious?
This is where it gets really, really fascinating. Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler's 2008 study in the British Medical Journal showed unequivocally that happiness is contagious.
Contagious, how?
It can propagate up to 3 degrees of separation in social networks. Your happiness can genuinely affect your friend's friend's friend. And it's not just associating with happy people, it's a true, measurable, emotional transfer that can persist for weeks.
Wow. And happy people are healthier.
Consistently. They exhibit better health indicators, greater adaptability, stronger problem-solving skills, increased resilience. Research notes happiness can even measurably influence inflammation markers and mortality rates at a population level.
Like the French World Cup example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That singular decline in cardiovascular deaths among men after the victory. While just a correlation, it suggests a massive collective injection of optimism and joy might have played a surprising role. It hints at the power of shared positive emotion.
And this ripple effect clearly applies to our relationships too, right? How does this deeper understanding impact how we form and maintain our bonds?
Absolutely. Relationships are fundamental ways to experience love, passionate, sentimental, enduring. The authors explore this through different ways of experiencing love, asking, give and take, donating, and ultimately being love itself. A key concept is the secret script in relationships.
What's that?
It's our hidden expectations and unconscious needs that we project onto others, creating unspoken demands and potential conflict. Relationships then serve as powerful mirrors, reflecting aspects of ourselves, desires, shortcomings, potential back to us for integration.
There are phases to this.
Yes, 4 phases. Polarity, initial attraction, attraction-repulsion, the push-pull, relationship, the dynamic, and integration, embracing differences. Honesty, clarity, and inner awareness of our true needs, separate from projections, are fundamental for fulfilling bonds.
And those powerful questions they pose.
Right. What part of you makes the choice? What does it represent? If you were totally free and happy, what would you choose? And if you knew you were dying soon, would you still choose it? They force self-honesty, help us choose based on authentic purpose, not fear or compensation.
And social connection itself is health.
Definitely. Its impact is comparable to good sleep or diet. Studies on caregivers and volunteers show lower mortality risk, improved physical and mental health. Volunteering, especially from a pure spirit of dedication, reduces stress, loneliness, improves emotional stability, promotes longevity, even reduces Alzheimer's risk. And it feels good.
We've talked about the immense power of our mindsets and relationships, but let's get concrete about what we put into our bodies. What's the latest scientific take on nutrition and its direct measurable impact on our longevity and cellular health?
This is absolutely vital. What you eat is quite literally the raw material for every cell in your body. It shapes your energy, your thoughts, your emotions. The main enemies of our telomeres, those DNA caps, are oxidative stress and inflammation.
Like rust and a stuck alarm system.
That's a good way to put it. Oxidative stress damages cells like rust, and inflammation is the alarm stuck on, causing collateral damage. Anything that combats these is beneficial. And here, nutrition, particularly the traditional Mediterranean diet, stands out as a formidable telomere protection factor.
Okay, tell us more about that diet.
It's recognized by UNESCO, not just a fad. Science has amassed significant data validating its benefits. It's high in plant foods, vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole cereals, moderate and healthy fats, mostly olive oil and maybe some red wine, marginal in red meat, processed foods, saturated fats. This pattern directly counters oxidative stress and inflammation, reducing telomere wear and tear.
And the blue zones link.
Exactly. 2 of the 5 blue zones, Sardinia and Icaria, are in the Mediterranean basin, areas with lots of healthy centenarians. Ansel Keys' 7 countries study back in the 50s first linked this diet to lower heart disease. More recently, the Nurses' Health study on thousands of U.S. women found a direct correlation. Greater adherence to the Mediterranean diet meant significantly longer telomere.
It's the whole pattern, not just one food.
Precisely. It's the whole dietary pattern, the symphony of nutrients working together. Whole grains over refined ones, for instance, makes a big difference. Antonia Trikopoulou developed a med score to quantify adherence. Each point correlates to about 1.5 years less cellular aging.
1.5 years per point. That's incredible.
It really shows the power of consistent dietary choices.
Given all this compelling evidence to the Mediterranean diet, it feels like a blueprint for longevity. So why are we seeing rising obesity rates, even in Mediterranean countries? What's going wrong?
That's a critical and, somewhat alarming point. The invaluable legacy of this diet is actually under significant threat, especially among younger generations in Southern Europe.
Why? What's changing?
They're increasingly influenced by the pervasive availability and aggressive marketing of fast food and highly processed junk food, high in unhealthy fats, refined sugars, empty calories. The WHO reported surprisingly high childhood obesity rates in Italy, Spain, Greece, roughly 1 in 5 minors.
Wow. But obesity isn't all genetic, right?
No, only about 30% genetic. The remaining 70% is down to environment and lifestyle choices, making it largely preventable. Obesity is a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, various cancers, a leading cause of illness worldwide. And it's linked to climate change, too, given the environmental impact of producing certain foods, especially animal products.
So plant-based helps the planet, too.
Significantly. Uses fewer resources, emits less greenhouse gas. And the book also reminds us of food's power to evoke memories and comfort, like in Ratatouille. Food is more than just fuel. It's experience, connection.
Beyond diet, what about movement? Our bodies are literally designed to move, honed over millions of years, but modern lives often make us incredibly sedentary. How does physical activity combat premature aging and chronic disease at that fundamental biological level?
You've hit on a crucial point. Our bodies, honed for running, climbing, hunting, are now often forced into unnatural sedentary lifestyles. This causes weakness, accelerates aging, contributes to illness because our fundamental need for movement hasn't changed. Movement isn't just about burning calories. It restores optimal functionality to our muscles, organs, entire systems.
Can it override genetics? To some extent.
Studies show it can powerfully mitigate genetic predispositions, like to obesity. Jogging seems particularly effective in countering those genetic risks. The Nurses' Health study found even brisk walking for just 3 hours a week cuts heart disease risk by 30–40%. That's comparable to intense workouts.
Just walking?
Briskly, yes. Similar benefits were found for type 2 diabetes prevention and even a 20% reduction in breast cancer risk in postmenopausal women with just an hour of daily activity. For the elderly, it significantly lowers risks of heart disease, metabolic illness, cognitive impairment, osteoporosis, muscle weakness, preserves independence.
What activities are best?
Harvard professor Ayman Lee highlights several great ones. Swimming. Perfect sport, aerobic, mood-boosting, easy on joints, tai chi, meditation and movement, great for balance, especially for older adults, and calming. Strength training, not just bodybuilding. Builds muscle, burns calories, improves memory, bone density, sleep, and walking. Simplest, highly effective for weight, cholesterol, blood pressure, mood, chronic disease risk.
Even small bits help.
Absolutely. Even short bursts, taking stairs, walking during TV commercials offer cumulative benefits if you're short on time. Think of it like a cellular conversation. Movement tells your body, we are alive, adapting, thriving.
And that affects telomeres.
Directly. It signals cells to repair and renew, not just slowing shortening, but actively promoting vitality. It's a biological command to stay young.
We often hear the saying, healthy mind in a healthy body. It's a classic. But this deep dive flips that. Healthy body and a healthy mind. What's the profound shift in perspective there? How does our mental state so directly influence our physical health right down to our genes?
This raises a fundamental question about the profound interconnectedness of our being. The ancient Vedic Upanishads stated millennia ago that the universe is mental. Our perceived reality is a product of our mind. As Yuval Noah Harari notes, humans uniquely imagine abstract concepts, nations, money, religion, things that don't physically exist.
Right, but they shape everything.
Exactly. These concepts shape our external reality, behavior, social structures, for better or worse. This perspective implies our mind's activity directly affects not just the external environment, but also our internal biological machine.
How so?
Your thoughts and emotions aren't just ephemeral. They are biochemical events influencing gene expression, aging processes, inflammation. If your emotional and mental diet is constantly resentment, anger, guilt, helplessness, chronic anxiety, your body will suffer. It loses harmony, robust health, regardless of how much you exercise or how well you eat.
Even with good physical habits.
Yes. Neuroscience shows that while the brain processes information, the origin of consciousness, the mind's immateriality remains mysterious. Yet we know the mind's activity demonstrably modifies brain structure, influences gene expression, impacts our entire biology.
Like Einstein's optical delusion idea.
Precisely. Or Pascal's thinking reed, aware of insignificance, yet uniquely capable of thought. It highlights the mind's power and responsibility. Think of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast. Imagination and words shaped reality, triggered panic, even though false.
A powerful example.
And in today's age of information overload, 34 gigabytes daily, some studies suggest educating our mind to kindness, harmony, beauty, discernment is crucial. It helps us avoid being unconsciously reactive, preserving inner balance and health.
That's a powerful and frankly a bit daunting thought. If our minds are so incredibly powerful over our biology and reality, how do we train them for well-being? What does a perfect mind actually look like here, and how do we even begin?
Well, a perfect mind isn't one devoid of thought, but one purified of common, unhelpful tendencies. It's not constantly ruminating on the past or worrying about the future, not scattered or merely reactive to traumas or anxieties. It's fundamentally a meditative mind, trained through silence, creativity, intuition, intensely immersed in the present.
Like training a dog.
That's the analogy they use. An untrained mind generates suffering, repeats mistakes, is hypercritical, full of unconscious prejudices. It's at the mercy of stimuli. A trained mind, however, becomes an extraordinary tool. It conceives, creates, perceives beauty and harmony even amidst pain. It interacts with life in the present, finds inspiration in silence, reasons unconditionally, replaces superiority and inferiority with calm awareness of its value and interconnectedness.
Like William James said about rearranging prejudices.
Exactly. Many people think they think, but in reality, they are just rearranging their prejudices. The process isn't rigid control, but resetting the mind to its original state of purity, clarity, awareness shining in the present like a newborn's mind.
An inspired mind.
Yes, one open to infinity, fertile ground for higher feelings, sublime ideas, like a flame blown into us inspirare in Latin. This suggests cultivating inspirational habits, recognizing innate talents, and being aware of the three gunas from Indo-Vedic culture.
Tamas, Rajas, Sattva.
Right, tamas, inertia, confusion, numbness, rajas, hyperactivity, restlessness, pulled to external desire, sattva, clarity, wisdom, purity, mental light. Balancing these is essential for mental well-being and inner peace.
That deeper understanding of the gunas is fascinating. You also mentioned 5 specific states of the mind that relate to this. Can you break those down?
Certainly. Understanding these 5 states helps navigate our inner landscape. First is mutha, dominated by tamas. Numbness, confusion, heaviness, apathy, attracted to dullness. Second, ksipta, primarily rajas. Restless, hyperactive, extroverted, drawn to intense sensory pleasure, struggles to settle. Third, viksipta, influenced by sattva but unstable, distracted, superficial, avoids deep problems, flits around.
Okay, those sound familiar. What are the others?
Yeah. Fourth is ekagra, a balanced sattva state. Stable, steadfast, innate clarity, presence, can stay deeply focused, ideal for meditation. And fifth, niruddha, the most advanced, mind devoid of thoughts, internal dialogue suspended. Profound mental silence, deep regeneration.
And only the last 2 are good for meditation.
That's the crucial point. Only ekagra and niruddha are truly suitable. Trying to meditate from the first 3 turbulent states is usually frustrating, feels inaccessible. It highlights the need for disciplined, progressive mental hygiene.
And breath helps here.
Immensely. The Vedas knew the intimate link between breath and mental activity. Conscious, intentional breathing offers a powerful strategy to calm the mind. Specific breath retentions can lead to mental clarity and sustained focus, guiding you towards those deeper states.
Meditation is such a buzzword now, experiencing this massive global boom, often touted for stress reduction or focus. But this deep dive suggests it's much more profound than just a health hack. What's its true essence beyond the trendy benefits? What is this revolution of being?
Meditation is indeed booming, and for good reason. Over 8,000 scientific studies affirm its benefits for health, well-being, quality of life. Its efficacy is undeniable. And yes, it offers deep relaxation, fights inflammation, slows aging, improves mood and cognition. However, the authors strongly argue these are largely secondary effects.
Secondary. So what's the primary goal?
Its true essence, its core purpose, lies in a profound paradigm shift. A shift from knowing how to do or knowing how to think to simply knowing how to be. This is what Daniel Lumera calls the revolution of being. It involves deep structural transformations in the brain's physical architecture and potentially even impacts your DNA.
Wow. And the Sanskrit term?
Dhyana, which we translate as meditation, actually means vision. It describes a state where pure, undifferentiated awareness remains without forms, definitions, judgments. An infinite ocean of awareness. This knowledge by identification means in deep states, the mind takes on the characteristics of what it wants to know. Perceiver and perceived dissolve. You become one with it.
That sounds incredibly transformative, almost otherworldly. How does one even begin to approach such a profound state? What are the practical steps?
It is transformative. And while it sounds complex, it's achieved through 4 distinct, surprisingly simple steps with consistent practice. First is focused attention, directing attention onto a single, inspiring object without distraction, breath, image, silence, training the mind to stay. Second, sustained concentration. Attention becomes stable, intense, absolute presence. A balance between focus and letting go, no tension, unwavering. Third, deep contemplation. Concentration deepens effortlessly. Profound mental silence, no definitions or judgments. Seeing with childlike wonder as if for the first time, no internal dialogue.
And the final step?
Finally, state of meditation, transitioning naturally from contemplation. Profound, calm, lightness, no longer performing a practice. A sense of integrity, purity, the soul smiling as they describe it.
And even short practice helps.
Remarkably. Johns Hopkins found it reduces pain, depression, anxiety. UNC studies found it improves cognition, stress management, increases gray matter in areas for learning, memory, self-awareness, compassion, while reducing amygdala activity, the fight-or-flight center.
What about specific types?
Loving-kindness meditation, LKM, even for beginners, is particularly effective for telomere protection, combating cellular aging. Retreats offer powerful tools for deeper longevity. It's truly a workout for the brain, promoting general health, supporting other therapies without side effects. The U.S. Army even uses it.
For stress management.
Exactly. And even 5 minutes daily of gratitude meditation helps manage stress and boost positive emotions.
We often use music to set a mood, energize us, or relax. But this deep dive explores its profound biological impact, suggesting it's much more than just entertainment. What's the science of music, and how does it affect us at a cellular, even genetic level?
This is truly fascinating. The authors describe the first sound we hear as our mother's heartbeat in the womb, establishing that deep, primal connection. The ancient Greeks linked music and medical arts to Apollo, god of healing. Science now confirms its power on multiple levels.
How so? Clinically?
Yes, clinically. Affects heart rate, respiration, pain perception, anxiety. Can even reduce anesthesia doses needed during surgery. Biochemically. Influences dopamine, opioids, natural pain relievers. Cortisol reduces stress. Serotonin boosts mood. Oxytocin, love hormone. Triggers pleasure like food or sex.
Genetically, too?
Yes. Studies show music can induce specific gene expression for dopamine, learning, memory, and reduce cell death, promoting resilience. Immunologically, increases natural killer cells, vital for immunity, has anti-inflammatory properties. Biophysically, sound, especially acoustic music, communicates directly with cell biology. Certain music extended survival in transplanted rats. Loud, unpleasant sounds increase mortality.
So our biology responds directly to sound waves?
Measurably. At biochemical, molecular, atomic levels, influencing heart, brain, respiratory rhythms. The authors highlight playing at 432 Hz. A lower pitch generates harmonics thought to resonate better with the DNA double helix, brain function, promoting bihemispheric synchronization, and Earth's Schumann resonance.
So more in tune with nature.
Potentially creating a language more in harmony with nature and fundamental vibrations. And words themselves, spoken with intention, have enormous therapeutic impact, influencing biochemistry.
Like the Zen story.
Exactly. Toyo searching for the sound of one hand illustrates the journey to inner silence, sound without sound, highlighting sound's deeper impact on consciousness.
And finally, nature. We intuitively know being in nature feels good, helps us relax. But how does science explain its profound healing power? And what does it tell us about our place in the larger ecosystem?
The idea that nature heals is now incredibly strongly supported by science. A 2016 Harvard study found women near green spaces had a 12% lower mortality rate.
12%. Why?
Reduced risk for cancer, respiratory kidney diseases. It's multifactorial. More physical activity, cleaner air, more vitamin D from sun, lower stress anxiety, better social life. Our telomeres benefit too. A Hong Kong study showed men in greener areas had longer telomeres.
How much time outdoors helps?
Even 120 minutes a week significantly boosts health, and just 90 minutes walking in nature can lower rumination, activating brain areas for empathy and love, unlike urban walks.
That's a big difference.
It is, and the authors include that provocative statement from an ecology professor.
About the bees and humans.
Right. If bees went extinct, global extinction in 50 years. If humans did, life would flourish. It starkly challenges our human-centered view. The decline of pollinators underscores our dependence on seemingly insignificant species.
Like the butterfly effect.
Exactly. A small flap leads to a hurricane. It shows how every thought, every action cascades through complex systems, even our brain. This interconnectedness is key. Concepts like the Declaration of Interdependence and universal responsibility highlight our shared fate, the need for collective action.
That's a powerful and humbling perspective. This ultimately leads to a profound idea the authors call the inner Copernican revolution. What is that, and why is it so vital?
This raises an absolutely vital question for us all. Just as Copernicus proved Earth isn't the center of the universe, we need an inner revolution. We need to overcome the ego sapiens belief, that deep, often unconscious conviction that humanity is the absolute master and center of creation.
Realizing our interconnection.
Profoundly. A radical cognitive and emotional shift towards unity, like the overview effect astronauts experience seeing Earth from space.
That feeling of oneness.
Exactly. A breathtaking realization of our tiny, fragile planet as a single, interconnected, living organism, no borders. This feeling, also found in advanced meditative states like Sabikalpa Samadhi, reveals the illusion of separation that fuels conflict, destruction, suffering. We must learn to act as one species for mutual survival. Our very DNA connects us to all plants, animals, bacteria on this fragile planet. We're one vast interwoven family.
And the 7 seeds of interconnection.
They emphasize this. Raising awareness, the importance of invisible connections, inner roots, a revolution of conscience, like Mandela forgiving his jailers. Expanding consciousness beyond ego and embracing kindness as the foundational basis of all relationships.
For invisible legacy, too. Epigenetics.
Yes. Traumas can be passed down generations genetically, but crucially, these burdens can also be diffused and transformed in positive environments. It emphasizes our profound responsibility to heal ourselves for future generations. Helping the other is helping yourself.
We've gone on an incredible deep dive today, uncovering how kindness, optimism, forgiveness, mindful living, good nutrition, consistent physical activity, and reconnecting with nature are not just feel-good concepts. They are, as these sources so powerfully show, deeply rooted in our biology, influencing our DNA, shaping our brain, and even extending our longevity. It's a profound revelation of the power you hold.
It really is. And the truly profound good news from all this groundbreaking research is that your choices right now, in this moment, can profoundly, measurably impact your health, your happiness, and your future. You are not just a passive recipient of your genetic inheritance. You are an active architect of your well-being. You have the tangible power to modify your own destiny, one conscious choice at a time.
So if our minds, our relationships, and even our most subtle daily choices can literally reshape our physical and emotional reality, what does it mean to consciously choose to live every moment as if it were the forever that the authors speak of, with pure presence, boundless gratitude, and a deep awareness for the miracle of simply being? How would your life truly change if you deeply embrace that this moment right now is forever? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope this exploration has given you new insights and powerful, actionable tools for your own wellness revolution.